What's up guys? Welcome to another Java/AP Computer Science tutorial video, and in this video we're going to be talking about instance variables using the final key. And what the final key basically allows you to do is to assign a value to a variable that cannot be changed later in your program. So you're essentially creating a constant or a final value for a variable. And so we're going to really quickly create our instance variable, and we're going to use the final key. And it's going to be of type int, and we're just going to call it constant. And usually when you're working with the final key, you generally want to put all caps for your identifiers, and you don't need to do this, but it's just conventional. And it's giving us an error right here because it says the value of the field constant may have not been initialized. So you can either initialize it here when you declare it, or you can do it from a constructor. And we're going to do it from a constructor. And to set a value, we're just going to take in a parameter of int num, and we're going to say constant is equal to none. Oops. So whenever an instance of the fin class is created, it's going to expect a parameter, and whatever is passed through that parameter is going to get assigned to our constant variable, and after that it cannot be changed. So if we try to set the value of constant later in our program, or I guess right under it, so if we try to set it to 3, it's going to give us an error message and say the final field constant may have already been assigned. So you cannot change the value right after it's assigned. And what we're going to do here is we're going to just create one more variable, but it's not going to be a final, and we're just going to call it private int sum. And here's what we're going to do. We are going to create another method, public void add. And what that's going to do is it's going to set the value of sum to the value of constant. And then we're just going to specify another method and call it getSum, which is going to just return sum. And then up here in our main method, we can create an object or an instance of this fin class, and we can call it fin final object is equal to new fin. And it will be giving us an error because we need to pass in a parameter, and so we can pass in 25, for example. And now the value of constant has been set to 25, and it cannot be changed at runtime. And now we're going to create a for loop, and we can just say int I is equal to 0, I is less than 4, I++, so it should be looping through 4 times before it terminates. And then what we can do is we can access our add class, or our add method, sorry, and then we can just write a quick print statement that will call our getSum method that we created. Oops, spelled it wrong. So if we go ahead and run this, you can see that it prints out 25, 50, 75, and 100. And so what it's doing is we're creating a for loop that basically just continues to call this add method, which sets the value of sum to the value of constant. So it goes in and sets sum to 25 because we passed in 25 into our constructor, and then it'll return the sum, and then it'll come back and call this add method again, and it'll add 25 to sum, which is already 25, so it'll be 50, and so on up to 100. And that's basically how finals work. And these are important when you want to create constants within your program or values to your variables that won't change. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you so much.